Be honest. Do you ever feel like the job that you've given so much to is slowly draining the life out of you? You still show up, you still get a job done, but you are constantly tired, stressed out, and wondering when did this job become so depressing? And deep down, you're scared because you can't just walk away, but you can't imagine doing this for another 10, 15 years. And that was me too. So in this video, I'm not just sharing my story. I'm going to walk you through the exact moment that I realized my job was no longer aligned with the life that I wanted and what I did next to take back control. For a long time, I couldn't quite put my finger on what was wrong. I just felt tired. And it wasn't just physically tired, it was like my spark had gone. And it was like I was playing a role that I didn't quite fit anymore. I started noticing it in small moments. I started resenting the sound of the alarm on a Monday morning, dreading Sunday evenings. I was putting on my uniform for work and feeling like I was getting into a costume, playing some sort of character that was someone else, not me. I started to wonder if the reason I felt so off was because of the job, the one I'd given years to. Was it that no longer aligned with who I really was now? There've been so many changes over the years. The department had been under review, 50% of the staff were cut, pensions changed without warning. Everything was being restructured, and suddenly the loyalty that I'd shown for decades didn't really feel like it counted for much. The work culture was getting toxic, and there was this realization that I'd suddenly built my whole life around this one income stream, my wage. And if that disappeared, everything that I relied on would go with it. Basically, what I thought was job security didn't feel like job security anymore. And that was a real wake up call. I needed a way to take back control of my time, my future, my income, but I didn't want to approach it with an outdated mindset because 2020 had already shown me that the world had changed. Everything had turned digital. And it opened my eyes to the fact that trading time for money isn't the only option anymore. But I wondered, was it really accessible for someone in their 50s starting from scratch with zero experience? The first question I had was, I'm not great with tech or social media. Can someone like me really do this? I had no social media presence. I was starting at 52 completely from scratch. And I was intimidated by the idea of doing something online. But here's what I realized: I didn't need to be the expert. As long as I could copy and paste, if I could type an email, if I could press record on a video, if I could follow instructions, and most importantly, if I was coachable and willing to learn, as long as I had those qualities, I knew that I could do this because it wasn't about being perfect. It was about being consistent, being willing to start from zero, start and learn as the student, and start on the path to mastering the skills. My next big question was, what is it you actually do to earn money? And I had believed wrongly that you need to be the expert. I thought you had to create your own products, and all the things that I'd tried prior to this, I'd really struggled with and ultimately failed at. But by learning the skills of digital and affiliate marketing, I was able to work a genuine 2 to 3 hour workday because I'd learned about automations, and that was something I never knew about before. I also thought you had to be tech savvy to set all those things up, but I had them set up for me. All I was learning to do were the high income skills of marketing using social media to attract my perfect audience for free. And I followed a blueprint that could be applied to any product or service, whether it was someone else's as an affiliate or even creating my own further down the line. So I could see how I could grow the skills, grow a business, and that once I learned these skills, no one could ever take that knowledge away from me. And this was me setting myself up for the world that we live in now and going into the future, not getting left behind. And for the first time in a long time, I started to get excited about the future. But then I was asking, so how much does it cost? Are there any hidden fees? And how long does it take to learn? And this one was a big one for me because I was at the stage in life where I knew something had to change, not just for now, but for the next 10 to 15 years. So I asked myself two big questions. Is this going to be expensive to start? And what would it cost me if I didn't learn how to do something different? Because the thought of staying stuck or worse, struggling financially as I got older, really scared me more than trying something new. So when I realized I could start with a one-time investment and no ongoing monthly costs, that gave me room to breathe. And I gave myself 1 month to show up, following the steps and really giving it a go. And in reality, what I did was I showed up for 90 minutes a day for the first 6 months. Then I increased that to 2 hours a day, and now I work around 2 to 3 hours a day. And that's all I do. I was happy to show up every single day, master the skills, work through those moments that were difficult at first. Because as a student of something new, trying to get it going, it can be frustrating at first. Because I knew that if I could just master those skills, my life would change. If I stuck with it, that change was inevitable. So that's what I did. And I committed for the long term as opposed to looking for any kind of short term fix. So 18 months on, life looks completely different to where I was a couple of years ago. I work online from home or anywhere with Wi Fi, set my own schedule. Some days I work a couple of hours in the morning, some days I spread it across the day, and some days I only work sort of 20 to 30 minutes. I no longer have a 2 hour commute to work. I don't have to answer to a boss. I don't have to ask for time off. I plan holidays when it suits me. And I'm not waiting for permission to live my life. I finally feel like I've taken back control and I get to work in a way that feels honest, aligned, and truly me again. And the extra time I have now, it's given me back that life I used to dream about on that long commute to work. The simple things in life that I knew I was missing, but always felt so out of reach because I never had control of my time, someone else did. And it's simple things like walking the dogs on the beach when I want to go, heading to the caravan with the family, being there for our older parents who need our support more than ever, having time with the grandkids. Life has completely changed, and it's all because I made a decision to do something different. I know you're not just curious, you are looking for something more, a different way to live, a different way to work, something that actually fits who you are right now. You don't have to have it all figured out, but you do need to back yourself and be willing to take one small step in a new direction. So if this video has resonated with you in any way, then let me know in the comments. I'd genuinely like to hear from you. I reply to every single comment personally. And if you're curious about what I actually do or you want to ask more questions, then I'll add a couple of links in the description below this video where you can find out some more. And if you're anything like me, you already know that deep down, staying where you are isn't the answer. So if this has given you something to think about, if you've enjoyed this video, found it helpful, give me a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.